Am I the asshole for leaving after I found out my SIL was lying about her food allergy? F18, turned 18 in early August. For my 18th birthday, I wanted to go out and celebrate with my family by going to my favorite Chinese restaurant. I'm quite a picky eater, I'm autistic and have issues with textures. But any type of Asian food is safe food for me. When it comes to more Western cuisine, I don't have a lot of options unless I make it at home. Everything was organized and ready to go, but a week prior to my birthday, my brother's fiancée Vicky, F27, said that she can't go. She said she has a seafood allergy, and after contacting the restaurant, they said they can't realistically cater to her and politely advised that she doesn't eat there. Vicky and my brother suggested that we go to this Italian restaurant instead. Everyone was on board, but I hate Italian food. The textures of cheese, pasta and just all of it is just gross to me. I got upset because it was supposed to be a dinner for my birthday, and it was like I got forgotten about. I talked to my parents and they told me to stop complaining. Vicky can't help having an allergy. I sucked it up and went. I spent my birthday miserable, and ended up just sneaking in my own snacks into the restaurant. Well, last weekend I spontaneously went over to my brother's house with no warning because I had forgotten my hoodie there from a few days prior. My brother let me inside and I saw Vicky sat on the couch scoffing tuna like it's nobody's business. Me. I thought you were allergic to seafood? Vicky. What are you talking about? Me. My 18th birthday last month. You said we couldn't go to the Chinese restaurant because you're allergic to seafood. Vicky. Well, I'm not medically allergic, I just can't stand the smell of all those shrimps and prawns. It makes me feel nauseous. Me. So you ruined my 18th birthday because you don't like how seafood smells. Wow. I stormed out and blocked Vicky and my brother on everything. I couldn't believe this. I talked to my parents. They think I'm being dramatic, and that it's just a restaurant, and told me to apologize to Vicky for speaking to her like that in her home. I was so angry, I went to go stay with my BF's family for a few days who very kindly let me stay. My family thinks I went super overboard, and are calling me a brat and entitled. I don't know how to feel. Was I the aw? Edit. Thank you for the wonderful comments and awards. I hope you all have a great day. Make sure you order Chinese takeout and have it delivered to you at Vicky and your bro's wedding. She ruined your day with her food choices, so it's only fair you return the favor. #stay petty. Not the asshole. Not even in the slightest. I have a feeling Vicky being manipulative to get what she wants will be a recurring theme, unfortunately. No, you are not the asshole, but your SIL is. And #X200B. I'm so sorry your birthday was ruined. You're not a brat and entitled. You have an actual issue, but Vicky doesn't. She lied. You didn't. And as a mom and grandmother, I don't think what you said to Vicky requires an apology. Of course you most likely will get no peace until you do what they want, and as a parent I think that sucks. Not the asshole one bit. Vicky acted entitled, and it's sad your family is prioritizing her lies over your happiness. Sounds like your brother is the golden child. Am I the asshole for wanting my daughter to make my wedding cake although my future husband is refusing? I, F36, have a daughter, F16, who loves baking, and she's incredibly good at it. It's her passion since she was 3 and I encourage her to follow it and discover more ways to become better at it. I even enrolled her in few classes in academy to learn more. I met my fiancé, M41, 2.5 years ago. We're getting married soon. And for the wedding cake I had an idea, which is to have my daughter bake the cake and decorate it for us. My daughter agreed and was so excited to do it. My fiancé glanced at me when he heard about it, then when we were alone he snapped and said, "I can't believe you're being serious about this." I told him why not. It's not like we're having a huge formal wedding with many guests. Just a small party with our family and loved ones. He said this was a fucking joke, and that he will not let a child bake our wedding cake while there are tons of professional bakers out there who can make a much more decent looking, tasting one. I said I didn't understand the problem because I thought he loved her baking. He responded, "I do love what she bakes, but let's just stick to the muffins and brownies." I told him he was being unreasonable and that his words were hurtful to me and my daughter and her abilities. He told me to be more realistic and think about what the guests will say. Again, I said all the guests are family and friends, so I doubt they'd make any negative comments about the cake knowing my daughter made it. Matter of a fact, they might even think it's sweet. He got mad and said that there was nothing sweet about getting embarrassed on his wedding day. We argued for over 2 hours just going back and forth on the issue. Later, I got a call from his mother telling me that I should start being rational and look at things from her son's perspective. She suggested we get a professional cake for the wedding, then have my daughter maybe bake some cupcakes for the buffet or something. But I wasn't convinced and felt like they're deciding my wedding's plans for me and forcing what they want on me. I don't care how the cake will look, but it's the sentiment I care about. He snapped. He said this was a fucking joke. His words were hurtful to me and my daughter. He got mad and said that there was nothing sweet about getting embarrassed on his wedding day. You really want to marry this guy? And #X200B. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, and for your daughter's sake, please don't marry this guy. Why is he running to his mom when you two have a disagreement? Please don't marry this man. This is a small glimpse of your future with him. Girl, run, seriously. Not just because of his behavior, but his mother called you. Told you to be rational? Got involved in your argument? No, absolutely not. Do you want that for the rest of your life? I promise you it will get worse. The fact that she feels comfortable enough to do that is shocking, but she's not been told not to do it again and not to get involved, so she's had the green light to do it any time there is an issue. Edit to add not the asshole. Am I the asshole for refusing to help with the care of my disabled stepsister? My dad got married to B when I was 15. B was a single mom at the time to Kaylee 5 and Jace 2. Kaylee was born with severe disabilities. She is in a wheelchair, cannot talk, cannot feed herself, has tubes and is regularly hospitalized for various different issues that arise. She is also extremely medically fragile. Kaylee is 9 now and has gotten a little worse since I first met her. My dad and B are also starting to think more about what happens when they are gone or if they fall ill and are no longer able to care for Kaylee. B told me she doesn't want to burden Jace with her care when he's an adult, that he's the younger sibling and has never known life without sacrifice for her, and she was hoping that I would take that burden off them and that I would agree to become Kaylee's guardian and take care of her or find her an amazing place to live in when the time comes. I told them I would not do that. My dad argued that I should be willing to try at least, out of love for my family. They told me it would be such a huge burden off their shoulders. This did not change my answer. B ended up walking away from the discussion in anger. Dad and I then had it out. He told me that I needed to step up and be the big sister. I told him I wasn't anybody's big sister. That I didn't have love for his wife or her kids and was not going to sacrifice my life for his choices. He asked me what it meant and I told him I knew he had attempted to take money that my grandparents saved from me to pay for Kaylee's medical expenses. I told him I was very aware that he even threatened to stop my grandparents from seeing me because they protected the money. He accused me of being just like my mom, who left me at the hospital when I was born and was never in my life. He told me I don't care about anyone and I'm selfish. I told him then clearly he doesn't want a selfish person who cares about no one to take care of Kaylee. He said it's not true. He asked how I could even think about putting all that on poor Jace's shoulders. I told him it should be them working their asses off to make sure there is money and a plan in place and not to dump it on others. He told me it's not that straightforward. I asked him why he felt I should be more capable to make it work than him and his wife. I got a text after all that asking if I had changed my mind. I said no. B told me I was a heartless C, and she would make sure Dad didn't do a damn thing for me anymore. I replied back that he already attempted to steal from me for her daughter, so she shouldn't have to work too hard for that. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. And this would apply whether Kaylee was your full sister, too. Kaylee is her parents' responsibility. Your dad and B. They are at fault for trying to offload their responsibility as parents onto you as Kaylee's sister. Not the asshole. They are both ridiculous. They don't want to burden Jace, the bio brother. But you, not blood-related, no desire for the blended family. They asked and you answered. End of the story. Like I said, absolutely ridiculous. Not the asshole, and I'm having a hard time buying the "he's younger so we don't want to burden him when he's an adult" excuse. I feel like it's more classic misogyny with a splash of favoritism for stepmom's kids. I've read so many stories like this, and I can't think of a single one where the parents are trying to force their son into being a caretaker unless they don't have a daughter to force into it. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my homophobic family use my vacation home? Throwaway plus edit. Repost because I failed judgment bot. I own a small condo in Orlando. I bought it while working for the Mouse, and my friend, Ben, lived there with me. Ben's a cook and is rarely home. He has a large room that is accessible from outside and attached bathroom that locks to the rest of the house. Well, I got a different job, got engaged to my partner, and moved a few hours away. We kept the condo as a place to stay when we visit the parks, and we agreed with Ben that he could continue living there as long as he paid all the utilities and maintained the place. Our friends use it too, they pay a bit for utilities, are told don't bother Ben, and clean before they leave. Between everyone who uses it, we've gotten stuff donated so it's now a fully stocked vacation home. My immediate family and I have a bad history but we mended. They've used the condo 3/4 a year. On Monday Ben got woken up at 2 a.m. by hammering on the main door. My aunt and uncle, their kids, and their grandkids were all there, waiting to be let in. I haven't spoken to these people in years after they decided I was the devil's spawn for being gay. They demanded that, the caretaker, give them the keys. Ben called me, I told him to give them my number then shut and lock the door and not let them in. My aunt was insistent that my condo was actually owned by my family, it was the family vacation home, and it was against the law to not let them in. I told her no, it was mine, I own it and I let friends and family use it but I choose who stays there. There was a lot of back and forth and some petty name-calling. She said they were here for a week, where were they supposed to go, and I said I don't care. Meanwhile my partner reported that Ben texted them saying my uncle was attempting to kick in the door. I said, tell him to call the police. She hung up on me and Ben said they left. In the morning I got a phone call from my mom trying to convince me to let them stay. We had an argument during which she admitted that she didn't tell people that I owned the property because she didn't want the rest of our family to know they were in contact with me again. I told her if that's how she wants our relationship to be, then she's no longer welcome. I checked in with Ben and he's okay. Today, Weds, my aunt sent several texts asking to stay at the house because they hadn't accounted having to pay for a hotel and they had planned to just buy groceries and use the kitchen. I told her no. She said they were about to be out on the street with their luggage. She called me cruel and heartless and that I was ruining Disney for the kids. That made me hesitate, probably because I worked for the mouse. I know that particular family line has very little money, yet I find it hard to believe someone would plan a whole vacation without accounting extra funds for it. But the kids are really young. I'm so furious over the homophobia that it feels like a point of pride to deny them access. So am I the asshole? Not the asshole, of course. Your mother caused this, let her pay for a hotel for them or figure out arrangements. You're under no obligation to sort out the mess she created. Not the asshole. Your mum can pay for a place for Aunt's family to stay, given that she conveniently forgot to tell her you owned the apartment. Horrendous behavior from your family. Don't feel bad about the kids. It's a harsh thing for me to say but they're collateral damage because of their parents' behavior here.